Hi, friends. This is Miss Cole. This is day 3 of your word study. If you would get a piece of paper and a pencil, you might want to write down words or your thoughts as we go. Our goal is to determine the meaning of a root. Our first word is trajectory. Look for prefixes and suffixes and underline the root. By doing this, we're going to find the meaning. Now, tra means across or through something. And we learned that ject means throwing into something else. And then ori, the suffix, means pertaining to. So trajectory is the path that something is thrown into. So, for example, the trajectory of the football is going through the goalpost. Now look at this word. Go ahead and circle your root, and then you find your prefix or suffix. We notice here that D is our prefix. D means to without or throwing down. Ject means throwing into, and ed is just our past tense. So dejected means throwing down or depressed. So it's like you're throwing it back. So the little boy felt dejected because they would not let him play. And our next word, say the word with me, subjected. Subjected. So the way we should have spelled this word is the prefix sub, S-U-B, ject, J-E-C-T, and then our ending ed, subjected. The man is subjected to a security check. The word subjected means thrown under or to burden to go through the security check. It wasn't his choice, but he was thrown into that. It was required. Say the word objective. Objective. Think about and write that word using the prefix, the root, and the suffix you're hearing or ending you're hearing at the end. Okay, objective is spelled O-B, object, our root, J-E-C-T, I-V-E. An objective is to throw toward a goal. Ob, our prefix, means to, and then ject means thrown. So objective is a goal that we are thrown or working towards. Here is a tableau. What is a tableau? It is a still picture or a snapshot of a scene created by a group of people. Okay, this is something you could do if you have brothers or sisters at home, or you may wait to do one on recess. Some of the words you could use were words we've been working with this week, such as eject, injection, projectile, subjective, interject, or reject. And you're following these rules to make a tableau. Now we have our word builder. On your piece of paper, use the root ject and build 3 real words and then 2 nonsense words. And then you can draw a picture for each word to demonstrate your meaning and put it in your folder when we're done with word study today. I want you to look at a video that I want to share with you as well that tells us some of our words. Just a minute. Thank you for having patience. It's called From Membean.
Unless anyone raises serious objections, today we're going to talk about the Latin root jet, which means throw.
This is Word Root of the Day, brought to you by Membean.
Do you remember when your classroom teacher used a projector which threw images up on a screen for a presentation? Sometimes students would object to this or throw their thoughts against it. Often, students feel subjected to too many presentations, being too often thrown under their boring burdens. Do you remember as a child getting an injection at the doctor's office where a nurse would throw medicine into your arm with a shot? You might have tried to reject this attempt by throwing it back at the shot giver. Often, scared children interject or throw between the shot and their bare arms many cries of terror and alarm, hoping to interrupt the progress of the painful syringe. Interestingly, our word jet comes from ject as well. For a jet plane is thrown through the air by its engines. Jets often follow trajectories or the paths across which they are thrown. Sometimes a jet, or more often a ship at sea, is forced to jettison unwanted baggage, thereby throwing it overboard. Another word for throwing something is ejecting it, such as ejecting a DVD from a computer. Sometimes during a test, we have to make a conjecture or guess that is thrown up into the air if we don't know an answer. If we don't guess correctly, we might become dejected, that is, thrown or cast down, thus becoming depressed or blue. Now, you'll never have to reject or make a wild conjecture about an unknown word that contains the root ject, for it has been permanently thrown into your awareness of word roots.
Okay, now we're going to go back for one
If
little
you're an
extra
educator,
information. So here we have a video of a jettison. And this is just going to build a little bit of background knowledge with the root ject. But I want you to listen and see how it could relate to ject as we've talked about it. Enjoy your video.
Dear friends and followers, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be taking a closer look at why the pilots of this plane are dumping fuel and what that's going to do with a plastic water bottle. So let's get started. Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. If you want to learn more about photography or how to start your own business, or to create your own YouTube channel, the first 300 people to click on the link in the description below will get a free 2-month trial with Skillshare. In this video here, it's pretty obvious that something is off with this plane. Why is there white spray coming out of the rear of the wings? This plane is currently performing the jettison procedure, or better known as fuel dumping. Your imminent reaction probably is, what a waste and pollution of the environment. Why would pilots dump costly fuel overboard which you as a passenger has just paid for? Did the pilots miscalculate the fuel they need from the trip to A to B? And before we can answer those questions, we have to look at some weight limitations of airplanes. So for today's video, we'll be using a Boeing 747, and in a minute you'll see why. So imagine you and your crew are sitting in a 747 preparing for a flight from Munich to Los Angeles. So the airplane's current weight is the so-called dry operating weight. Then the payload comes on board, this is the passengers and the cargo, and then you have the so-called zero fuel weight. Then the fuel truck connects to the wing and fuels the plane with the calculated fuel to reach your destination, the so-called trip fuel, plus contingency, plus alternate, final reserve, and taxi fuel, or better known as the block fuel. If you add up all weights, you have your today's takeoff weight, but for today's video, the landing weight plays a more important role. So the Boeing 747's maximum landing weight is 312,000 kilos, which is a structural weight limit. Now you might ask, how can the maximum structural landing weight be lower than the takeoff weight if the plane is already so heavy upon takeoff? Now, all other limiting weights aren't as much subject to impact forces as compared to the landing weight, and therefore it is much lower, meaning engineers have done the math and decided that if the pilots land the plane with a descent rate of not more than sort of roughly 300 to 400 feet per minute at a maximum landing weight of 312,000 kilograms, the plane won't suffer any structural damages, primarily in the landing gear and airframe structure. And any landing weight above the maximum will have the consequence that the plane most probably will have suffered internal damage and its structural integrity will be impaired after a so-called overweight landing. And this is where the plastic water bottle comes to play. Now with a little imagination, you here can see our 747 shortly before landing at Los Angeles. So this water bottle shows the remaining fuel, the passengers and cargo, and the crew plus the actual weight of the plane, minus the burnt trip fuel, and you can see the landing weight is well below the maximum landing weight. So let's drop the bottle out of a height relative to the plane's weight and vertical speed upon touchdown. As you can see, no damage. Now let's say we're just crossing the Atlantic and your senior cabin crew member comes into the cockpit stating that one of her passengers just had a heart attack. Now the flight attendants and an onboard doctor are doing their best to help the passenger, but decide that the passenger immediately needs to get to a hospital. The nearest suitable airport is Dublin. You quickly check your current airplane weight and realize you're highly overweight for an immediate landing. So back to our imaginary plane. The same airplane, same passengers and luggage and crew, but loads of yet unburned fuel, increasing your current landing weight, which is obviously way above the maximum limit. Meaning if you now try to immediately land the plane, this could potentially happen. Your plane could suffer severe structural damages resulting in months of repairs or even irreparable damages, leading to a total hull loss. Also keep in mind, higher weight results in a higher landing speed, increasing the stop margin, creating a potential runway overrun. So what do? This is where the fuel jettison procedure comes to play. To quickly reduce the airplane's weight, the pilots open the spring-loaded valves via the fuel dumping panel, and the now unnecessary fuel gets literally dumped overboard. It leaves the aircraft through the specific holes on each wing, usually closer to the wingtip and further away from the engines. So why did I specifically say spring-loaded? Now the valves open electrically and are held in the open position, but in case there's an electrical failure during that dumping procedure, the spring pushes the valve back into its closed position. The dumping rate on the 747 is approximately 2 tons per minute plus the fuel burned during the procedure. So let's do the math how long we would have to open the valve until reaching an appropriate landing weight. Okay,
So notice here that they dumped the fuel out. So remember, friends, jet means to throw out. That is our root jet. And remember that the prefixes and suffixes also change the meaning of words. Thank you for joining me today. Have a good day.